As we're laying back, I like to start off always connecting with a little intention for the class. So to prepare us for that, just let a couple of good deep breaths flow through your body. Just relaxing inhales. Good deep exhales. Let a couple of breaths flow just like that. Just feel how excited the body is to be moving, perhaps to be trying new things. And so with the body so relaxed, the idea that we're starting off with today is the idea of sometimes when I have different things that I'm working for in my life, like goals, dreams, or even just hopes or emotional, like I wish I could be at this frequency emotionally, feel just a little bit better. Sometimes it seems like that goal lives in the space clear above us. It's like really high to reach up to. So as we go through our class today, you'll notice there's different points where I'm going to try to take us up high in habit. So sometimes that means we'll be standing up inside of it in various ways. Sometimes there's different reps that we take that end us up really close to the roof. So in these different moments when the hammock takes us really high up toward the sky, our thought today is to, in each of those moments, kind of imagine that our head is in that space of our hopes and our dreams, of our future. And so by being in that space, it's like we're perfectly set up to receive intuitive guidance of all the good things that can come. Intuitive guidance of even just the next little tiny baby step that we can take to head closer toward that hope and that dream. And so that's kind of the thing that will, the little image that will kick us off today. So with that image in our mind, I like to start off with some good simple stretches, just getting us into our bodies a little bit. So the first stretch, just start to take your arms all the way to the back wall and begin to let your shoulders wiggle to the right and shoulders to the left. You'll start to feel the side ribs and the shoulders opening up in really good ways. So take a few breaths each side. It's really good chances to open up some of those initial muscles, even allowing the lungs to expand a little bit more because of these simple stretches. So maybe one more time, right and left. And when we're back through the center, start to take your hands around the right knee. So right knee comes into the chest. When you've got that hug set up, maybe it's that hip flexor that just needs to be hugged in really tight. Maybe you want to focus on that right ankle. Do a couple of ankle rolls. Bringing up some tension there. Good. And when you feel ready for your first extension up to the sky, let that right leg start to reach up really high. Imagine the toes are in the zone of your hopes and your dreams. It's like your toes can start to feel what that higher frequency feels like. So just as we're stretching out that hamstring, just imagine whatever it is that helps you visualize that. Maybe we're imagining kind of tingles, really good circulation in the foot. Maybe it's like a light that's entering your body. There's many ways to imagine reaching that foot up to the zone up there. Just take another 2 good breaths. Good, and with the next exhale, last stretch for this leg, take it like a pigeon pose. So the right heel hooks to the back left end. Clear that end where the fabric ends it by the ears. So hook it all the way to the end of the fabric. Once the foot's hooked, slide the shin in. That helps us start to open up the hip in a good way. Here we go. Slide the shin. So give that right hip a couple of breaths. Feel how it's going today. Right hip, you got it. One more deep inhale. Nice exhale. Start to free up the right leg. And lower it all the way down. Good. So second side, left knee comes into the chest. Let's do a nice hug, maybe some ankle rolls. Beautiful. Leg starts to stretch up to sky. Toes are back in that zone of reaching high. So just feel how this leg receives it. Sometimes right and left tell super different stories, especially first thing in the morning. So just breathe through that side, the hamstring, help it stretch. Take 2 more breaths for this one. And with that second breath, take that pigeon pose on your back for this side. Feel hook, slide the shin in, feel that hip start to open. Breath still flowing nice and deep. Take another huge inhale. Nice exhale. Free out this leg. Maybe one more little stretch up to sky, and then we ultimately drop it all the way down. Good. Let's work our way toward a seated place. So feet can kick free off the front. Our hands grab on to help us sit up. Beautiful. So we're going to head to an inversion here. In this inversion, there's going to be an option, like I had mentioned, to wrap ourselves up, taking us up really high in the fabric. So just note, if you just want to start with the inversion part and just rest there, that's fine. If you're taking it up clear high with me, there will be a chance to come back down and then just get to hang. I know a lot of people come just for the chance to hang for your spine. So first things to get to the inversions, take your arms behind. It's your thumbs that hook up on the fabric. From that hook, you're able to push the fabric low toward about where the backside of the pant line is. So at that spot, you want to keep it there as you lean back. You're locking it in place and gripping back on. So from here, the last step to get to the inversion, legs go wide as you continue to tilt further. Ankles wrap around. At this point, if you're playing with just the inversion, this is safe to let go of the hands, so that's fine. If you're going to that wound up thing with me, cut up super high, what you're going to do from here, gazing up, is do a big crunch, grabbing onto the fabric. You're walking your hands up really high, even past the toes. Good. So from here, squeeze the knees into the center. Knees are here, the toes come back down, over. Good. Use arms and legs to come all the way up high. Good. And then to take a little back bend, we point our elbows forward on the inside, and it's a thumbs down grip over our shoulder. Once you've got that, you can take a couple of breaths with a nice little back bend. So remember our intention, that idea of anytime we're up high, think of that goal, that dream, intuitive guidance there. You're welcome to stay here a bit longer. Some people love back bends. Whenever you're ready to come back, you'll shift the hips back, grab back on from behind, start to lower yourself back in reverse. So come up to this spot. Then when the hands release, the ankles relax. The spine just gets down. Good. So those that want to practice that a few times, you're welcome to just play with coming up and down. That's a really good workout. When you've gotten to that point, you're free to actually unwind the knees even more. Good. So go ahead and unwind your knees even more. So release the hands. Release the hands. And then let the knees relax back to a wide shape.
Am I right?
This side. You wind that foot back around. Good. But instead of the knees trying to hug tight, just let the knees be wide. Yes. And with that, you can let go of your hands. Yep. So just note, if head is ever close to the ground, that's our sign. Next time you're in aerial, just set up your hammock a little bit higher. So when you put it up to your hips, put it more toward like belly or something. But it's all good. You won't hurt yourself as long as you go slow. Yeah, you did great. Just thumbs down, grip that one up a little more. Good. High.
Is that right?
Yep, and just relax your hands, let your knees kind of slip back open like a frog. So good work, guys. We've got the majority of the class starting to head up to a seated place. So that's where we go when we're done with inversions. So go ahead and head out. So you'll have to unwind your hands from where they're at. And then let your knees go back wide. Yep, and then grip the fabric that's right under your knees. Yep, grabbing that spot, you can unwind your legs and come up safely. So grab the spot that's under your knees. You're trying to, so you're gripping from the outside. It's just the spot that's kind of by knees and legs. Yep, that's the spot. And then you can just grab it and unwind your legs, come back up. Got it. So take a little break for a moment. Elbows up, shoulders come forward. We always take little break poses after being upside down. This gives our head time to flip back to this orientation. So just enjoy a few breaths right here. Take a couple of easy stretches. So start to sit up nice and tall. Clasp your hands together behind your back. Hands are going to go toward right hip. And then drop the right ear to right shoulder. You'll feel that nice stretch across left shoulder and left part of the neck. Give that spot a couple of good breaths. This head starts to come gently up. Hands switch, so hand go left hip and then left ear over left shoulder. Let's take another good inhale. Exhale. head back up, release the hands. We'll spiral into an even deeper twist. So bunch up the fabric that brings us to front door. Your shoulder is pointed to the back wall. That arm opens up to the back wall or circles around the back side of the head. Whatever type of twist feels best for the spine. Great, another good inhale. Exhale. Release. Let's take it to the other side. So bunch up the fabric toward back door. Again, that arm that's touched the mountains, open that arm or circle it around the back side of the head. More inhale, exhale, and then we're going to bunch up the fabric to the side that points us to center of room. So this will have switches back to face to me. Okay, we're gonna try to come deeper inside the fabric here. So the first step to help us out is lock your arms out straight by pushing into the fabric. That lifts up your hip and gives you a little bit of space to work with. So the leg that just got lifted, that's the leg that we're gonna try to work on swinging up and over. It's usually funky the first time, so don't feel bad if it takes you a little bit, but lock the arm straight, that gives your hips some space, and then swing it up and over. And don't worry if it takes a little bit of effort. So whenever you get here, go ahead and step both heels inside the fabric, let both legs extend out wide, sitting in a wide figure V shape. Here. Good. So have the hands pushing outward to help the legs get a nice stretch. We're also trying to sit up tall rather than round the spine back. So engage the core a little bit. Sometimes if the spine's super rounded, I'll grab up high, lift up my hips for a moment, and by lowering back down, usually my spine's able to sit a little bit taller. Good. Also, just a note for yourself, this pose is how you know if, when you headed into the fabric initially, if you grabbed enough fabric or not. So sometimes I'll grab too much and it'll shift me really far to one side. So one foot is inside, the other foot's practically out. And so this just kind of helps you know over time. Our goal is to try to figure out the perfect amount of grips that gets us to the center each time. Good. Let's even take a lean. So right hand slides down right leg, left hand circles up and over, lean to that side. Good. Rising back up, slide left hand down left leg, right hand up over. Good, huge inhale. Exhale. Starting to sit back up. So our next way of trying to get our head up really high toward the sky is by standing up inside from here. So what we need to do to get that to happen is get our feet inside the fabric. So if either side has toes peeking out, take the toes back inside. That'll make the stance much more easy when we get there. And then from that setup, slide the heels in close to the glutes, and we're gonna start to pop the knees out of each side. That'll make it so much easier to stand up. So we've got our feet entirely inside the fabric, and then we've slid to this kind of frog squat. So once we've come to this spot, bunch up the fabric in front of you. I like to reach up high, that this helps. And then all we're gonna do is transfer to a low position, like a low squat position. So all our heels do is slide underneath us, and the knees pop out even more. Beautiful. So once you come to this shape, you just have to reach the hands up really high and then stand directly up. Keep the inner thighs kind of squeezing together. That helps rather than splaying way open. Got it. Okay. So we're going to turn to face to the mirror. So it's different orientations for different people, but your shoulder that's closer to the mirror, that shoulder comes behind and then you grab on. Once you've got that grip, point the hips forward. And we're going to start sending the front leg forward, the back leg back. A nice chance to start stretching towards splits. Good. A beautiful inhale. Nice exhale. And then start to lower onto the back knee. Once you're kneeling on that back knee, bring the hands on the inside, grabbing the front line. And then you'll take a nice half split, sliding the hands down. Or if anybody wants to get a little bit closer to full splits, you can also sink the back knee backwards. So it's up to you how deep you take this. Good. So take another inhale. Exhale. Our weight comes back over the center. This will transition us to pigeon pose. So the front knee swivels to the side. Once we've got that set up, the front leg goes forward, the back leg goes backward. If you stay inside, it's a really deep back bend. I personally like to free out the arm that's over the toes and then continue to lean forward. When I do this, it's like I have a seatbelt across my chest, keeping me inside. I also like to lean into that seatbelt so I get a little massage on that part of the neck and shoulder. Take another good inhale. Exhale. We'll end up back in that wide figure V seated place. So rock your weight onto your front hip, and then your back knee needs to swivel all the way open to come back out to the wide shape. Beautiful. Arm strength. Spread the legs wide. Take another huge inhale. Exhale. Let's try to come back up to standing. So make sure the toes are inside. Start to slide the heels close to the glutes. Knees are popping outside. Once you've got this, grab on. Swivel heels underneath hips. Pop the knees out even further. Like a little toe squat. So then when head is free, you're ready to rise up, grab up high, use arm strength and leg strength to rise. Good. So this time we're gonna face the back wall. So the shoulder that's to that side needs to come all the way behind and grip on. Once you're there, start to take your first little splits, front leg forward, back leg backward. Another good inhale. Exhale, drop down onto that back knee. Hands readjust to the inside, that front line. And then slide down, Or maybe deeper splits with the back knee also going a little bit backwards. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bring your weight back over the center. Your front leg for this side swivels out to the side. And then send the front leg forward, the back leg back, pigeon pose. If you're throwing out an arm, let it be the arm that's over the toes on that front foot. Sleeping pigeon, just lean into it. So let's enjoy another huge inhale. A nice exhale. Back to that wide seated place. So rock your front hip down, swivel the back knee open. Arms press the legs out wide. Take another huge inhale. Exhale. Feet can start to kick off of each end. So we're back to the straddle. Good. Whenever you get here, sooner or later, you're going to take just a bonus little stretch for each leg. So your leg that's closer to the mirror, pick up that leg and place that ankle onto the fabric that's in front of you. Gets us a nice little hip opener. So if it's intense, lock your arms. That makes it easier. If you want it to be deeper, bring the leg closer, hug around it, lean forward. So you choose that hip intensity. And we'll take a little hamstring stretch. So from the bunched up fabric, the arch of this foot gets placed up onto that pole. And then we start to slide the leg up high. I turn the toes out in the same orientation that my knee is pointed. That makes it much more comfortable. Good. Couple breaths right here. A nice inhale. Exhale. This leg frees its way back forward. Second ankle up, hip opener. Nice arch of foot onto the fabric, slide the leg to hamstring stretch. Take one more inhale. Exhale. This foot frees its way to the mirror side. We'll shift our hips around to face back forward. Good. Take your time. Eventually, when you're facing forward, we'll lift our hips up and out. Don't worry, I'll be by in just a moment to help. But from up and out, what I want you to do is hook your elbows, start walking forward, and then kind of lean very gently forward, a little heart open. Good. You got it. Beautiful. Okay, so walk your elbows. You got it. Good. So feel how this opens up the pecs, opens up the shoulders. Take another huge inhale. Exhale. Take your weight over your body. As you free out the arms, you're going to walk around to be standing behind fabric. Regroup back on about as wide as shoulders and start to let the upper body go forward. So based on what feels tight, now just moving through the spine, up and down. Some people might start to lean a little bit to the right and lean to the left. Or there's other intuitive movements that might feel good, kind of rolling your spine like it's on the inside of a barrel. So you've got options, just feel what your spine would love to do here. Good. Wherever you're at, take another good inhale. Exhale. And the knees start to roll our way up. Then from up here, we're going to stamp our right foot inside of the fabric. Good. So we've got a couple of options here. We're going to do just 3 rounds of pull-ups. So if you have the knee bent and you're going up and down, that uses a little bit more leg strength, makes it a little easier. If you want to make it more about arm strength, the leg goes straight and the arms do more of the pull-up. So 3 rounds, work with your breath. So inhale is the prep. Exhale is coming up. 3 and down. Good. 2. Down. And 1. Beautiful. So we're going to take a standing tree pose inside. If standing up inside of it isn't working too well, you'll take tree pose from here, using the fabric to help you balance. If you're standing up all the way inside, your goal is to try to not swing too much. So you're using arm strength and core strength to slowly rise up. From that, your left leg winds around the pole. And then your left arm is the one that's going to have to inch its way forward. Feels super funky, but get your wrist and then your elbow and then your shoulder. Once you're there, maybe the foot wants to slip higher. Hands come to heart. So deep fascia massage for that standing foot. So if you ever need to come out before others, that's okay. Just try to go for about 3 more good breaths. So to head out, right hand grips on for safety. Left arm grabs as soon as it can. Softly lower down. And slip the fabric past the heel. Let that right foot have a little bit of movement. Help it feel better. Good. So when the foot's starting to feel pretty good, we're going to move into hamstring. So the easier option, just slide down. That gets the heart closer to thigh. It's a really deep stretch. Or you could take splits. I usually slide hands up for splits. And I like to kind of ease into it. So maybe take it like 50% of the way first. And sink another inch and just kind of gradually help the muscles release rather than trying to force something immediately. Slow, easy breaths, help that hamstring out. Good. 2 more breaths. Weight of our body start to come back over standing leg. We'll switch sides. So 2 ways to switch. Option 1, just step this foot out, step the other foot in. Option 2 is the swinging switch. So you grip up high and lock your leg straight. From there, you can step the second foot in and then first foot out. Beautiful. So step it back to arch a foot. 3 times up and down. Maybe the leg's straight as you go up and down. Maybe it's a bent knee, your choice. Take your inhale breath. Exhale, coming up 3. And 2. And 1. Beautiful. Standing variation of tree, or if we're standing inside, try to minimize rocking by using core and arm strength. Right leg winds around the pole. Then it's right arm that has to come forward and through. Maybe the foot slips higher. Maybe hands to heart. Breathe through this side. Sometimes one foot is totally different than the other. So 1 more huge breath in. Out. Left hand on for safety. Right hand grabs as soon as it can. And drop it down. Slip fabric past heel. Give the foot some movement. Good. And start to move into the hamstring. So maybe we slide down, or maybe arms slide up, whole weight forward. At that point, about 2 more slow breaths. This weight comes all the way back over standing leg. Go to free this foot out. Beautiful. We'll take the fabric back behind us, arms inside the fabric. Okay, so this inversion is super similar to the one we've already done. And in fact, coming up to Vitruvian Man is the same thing that we've already done before too. So you have that option if you want to. If you don't want to, just stay in the inversion. That's nothing wrong with that. So just like before, it's just the thumbs that hook. So come from the back side. That's it. Okay. So the goal of thumbs is to keep fabric across sacrum. If it gets much higher than that, it tends to be much more uncomfortable. So it's right across sacrum, kind of top of butt crack area. And then 1 foot steps back. That gives us a spot where we can take a tabletop from. So both knees bend. We kind of lock the fabric right where we want it across sacrum. And then what I need to do, if I were to let go of my feet from here, I would swing like crazy. So I need to take 2 or 3 tiny steps forward until I'm under plumb line again. A lot of core strength. Good. And then hands up, knees wide. Then when you wrap the feet, that's where you're at before. Good. So if anybody wants to try to come up to Vitruvian Man, you bring your hands past where the feet are. Similar to before, you squeeze the knees into the center. Continue to walk up higher. This one takes us to a nice wide straddle. Really good massage for inner thighs. Sometimes I'll stretch one or both legs. Really intense. Yeah, it gets better over time, but it's intense. Good. So whenever you're ready to come down, you have the same option as before, just head backwards. This side also has a flip option. So with the flip, you grip thumbs down in front, you keep the knees bent, and you just flip forward and it ends you right where you need to be. Kind of like a chest practice, but that's it. Good. So I'll let you guys play with that. You can play with the good work. You can play with just inverting. You can play with coming up and down. You can play with the flip a couple of times. You got options. You did great. Like you're gonna let go. You're in the perfect spot. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you did awesome. Yeah, so you got some options. Or if we're all done, we can all come out too. That's fine. So it's up to you guys. But feel free to just hang out if you love it. When we have groups that are large, usually there's people that want some inversion type, so nothing wrong with that. So I take that. So currently what you've got is fingers here. And what happens when you do that is usually the fingers get stuck. So you want like the arms clear behind and then it's just the thumbs with it. So you're trying to do like a wrap around, it's just slip right in. It's just very simple, yeah. You got it. So right across the sacrum, 1 foot back, bend the knees, lock it right where you want it, and then tiptoe forward. Good. Hands up, knees wide. You are. You guys are doing so awesome. So if you're still hanging, don't feel rushed. Those that are out, what we do here, this recovery pose is just leaning back into the fabric. And I'll usually clasp my hands behind the head, just so my head can relax back also. That makes it stargazer pose. This gives our head some time to be in this orientation. One of my favorite things to do here is bending the right knee, bring my right elbow to that side, lifting left knee, swinging left. Nice and easy. Got it, unwind, use your core, good work. Let's lean back in, good. So we've done several things trying to get ourselves up really high, like that zone of high vibration. But if we only ever let that be something that's really high up, almost unachievable, it can feel kind of, rough to try to get there with our goals and dreams. And so this last segment is just helping us go back down toward ground, toward, gathering that energy and taking it with us into manifestation land. So what I want us to do here is, if we're in the armpits really high, slip it a little bit lower, kind of past shoulder blades. Once you're there, walk your feet really far forward, so hips are under plumb line and the knees are forward like a chair. And from there, usually I come into this with my core really tight, so then let the hips drop for a moment, let the spine have some length. Good. So right foot slides forward. We're going to try to lift right leg up and down 3 times. Nice kick. So right leg up, 3, 2. On this last one, see if you can catch it. the toes reaching up high for a moment. And then just take right ankle to left thigh. Relax your hips back down. Feel that right hip open. Good. Right foot to ground. Left leg slides out. 3 kicks. 3, 2. Last one, maybe try to catch it. And ankle to thigh, relax the hips back down. Okay, when you drop that left foot down, tilt the feet nice and wide. And then see if you can take hands to inner thighs just to press the knees just a little bit wider. We're gonna lower ourselves down to sit. So first step, hands reach up really high, grab it on. And then the legs start to open up to each side. Based on flexibility of those around you, some might go wide, some might go more narrow, it's okay. But from this really tight grip, start to free the shoulder blades off. Try to slowly lower glutes to ground. If it's hard to sit up tall here, just keep the same grip that we settled down with. If you're doing okay, continue to slide fingers forward, interlocking fingers, lean forward to a nice long angle. Rising up, left foot slides to the space in front of us. Right knee tucks back. Release and then grip one hand on each side. And from here we start to lean back until that right quad is stretching. So maybe the chin stays tucked in, maybe top of head rocks back. It's whatever's comfortable. Strength gently pulls us up. If it's uncomfortable for the knee, swivel it back open. Otherwise, lean forward to left leg. Good, and then one more side, right leg frees its way forward, tuck the left back. Going backwards, a grip on each side, lean back, maybe chin is in, maybe head arcs back. Arm strength to rise, soft lean forward. Good. So as you untuck that left leg, we've got 2 options for Shavasana. So you could head back into the fabric just like how we started class, or the second option is end up with both heels inside the fabric. Just make a nice laying on the floor rested Shavasana. So your choice entirely. It's based on what feels good, what does the body want at this moment. Either way, just settle to that beautiful resting shape. You've got the feet in the fabric. Sometimes it's fun to rock the feet left and right a couple of times. It can feel really good for the hips. Take breath. Whenever we're in a comfortable place, start to reconnect back to breath. Good deep inhales and exhales. Got several minutes just to be right here. So here, wherever we are, let's start to deepen our inhales. Deepen our exhales. We'll begin to introduce little movements to the body. If just feet are inside the fabric, you can leave them or start to take them out. Little movements. If you're laying inside Shavasana, you can stretch the arms to the back wall, let shoulders go left and right a few times, or take a fetal position to each side. gut options, but start to introduce movement. Feel things starting to flow and connect again. Some point sooner or later, we'll all work our way up to a comfortable seated place. Up to you when we get there. For here, let's join hands together in front of the heart. Imagine having grabbed onto the tail of our little inspiration fairy. Imagine that she's given us little glimpses of what those hopes and dreams and future possibilities are. Like there's something that we can do that nobody else can do for this world. So as we continue on, we try to listen for that intuitive guidance to know even just that next one step that we can do to help us feel good or to help us work on our special endeavors for the world. So with this to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.